Yeah, no, it's really funny because I watched his Anthony interview, right? And then I just remembered, like, because I did one like right after
Oh,
him,
you also
and I
do an
just
interview with Anthony.
yeah, and then I just remembered what mine was, and I'm like, man, mine is like so depressing as opposed to his, because like his is like all talking about like his really cool plans and everything, and mine is just talking about like how mental health can affect content creation and all that.
Oh, let's talk
So it's
about
like,
that. Let's get into that because I've got,
yeah,
geez, let me tell you. I mean, all over, dude.
mm-hmm.
Shit sucks. But
Oh
I do
yeah,
think
no,
that
it's
like this profession, at the very least, draws more light to it in a sense that other things haven't in the past, which I think is a good silver lining. That I feel like whenever I talk about things like
mm-hmm.
that, I'm at least reaching more people than I think other mediums did. Whereas like TV and
Mm-hmm.
movies and news and stuff didn't always have the context. I think get the message across to people that like, oh, other people deal with this or that. Like a content creator is
Yeah,
very like not to like say that like the parasocial relationship I guess is more valid than the others, but at the very least you're more connected to a content creator that you when someone talks about something like that, I think you get more out of it and it can potentially affect you in your life more if you make changes based on
mm-hmm.
the advice someone gives,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember that when I opened up about like facial dysmorphia and all that, like the stuff
Wait,
from like
you
everyone
dude,
that
I
had also
literally have
been.
the I have like crippling OCD and facial and body dysmorphia is like an insane part of it that I deal with and it's why
Oh
like I
wow, yeah,
almost
no,
never show my face.
yeah,
Well, when I
I
do
deal with
from
that
time to
as
time.
well.
Yeah. I didn't know you dealt with
That's
that,
why I'm
yeah.
also faceless. Yeah,
Dude, it sucks.
yeah.
I've just had to like expose
Mhm.
myself to it, like trying to like be on camera more, but like it doesn't feel like it gets
Mhm.
much easier. I'm still working on it.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely just something that you have to work towards, and it's like it's very very difficult,
Pogu
but
bonding.
it's.
See, this is the discussion I had with Tommy earlier, where I was like,
Hmm.
this weird like outside commentary of like general human interactions that we have as creators, where it's like people like
Hmm.
take like, oh, look at them, oh, look at this and that. Like it's cool. I get it to an
Hmm.
extent because like we are just
Yeah.
figures, but it's like we're just having a discussion chat. You don't have to look too deep into it. It's like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
It's
that's like, yeah, that's another thing that it's like personal,
oh,
like
they're both
relationships and everything.
mentally ill. Heart. You know us. Aw.
Yeah, yeah, they have the same they have the same illness. That's great.
Aw.
But yeah, no, I think also just like the analyzation of like the relationships between like streamers like and everything is also like a huge part of it as well. And it
Yeah.
can definitely affect how like some people act towards others because
Say that again.
yeah. Well, it can definitely affect like the way that like people like act towards like certain people and everything. So if one streamer, right, let's just say he's not having a bad day,
Yeah.
so he like acts like cold towards this one person, they'll be like, "Oh, did something happen?"
Oh
Like,
my
and then they'll
god.
like
Yeah,
really
dude,
try to like
it's
pry
crazy.
into
I
it.
mean, the
In
amount of
reality, they just like
psychoanalysis is just absurd.
yeah, they might have just like dropped their drink beforehand and were just really bummed about it.
It's crazy. I mean, it feels like anybody in this circle. It feels like, and I don't know if it's very easy for I think a lot of people to be like, oh, the Minecraft YouTube community, like they're fucking crazy or this and that. But I think
Mhm.
it's just the scale of it is kind of what it is because like there's just so
Yeah.
many viewers that like
Oh
obviously
yeah.
there's gonna be a lot more people end up doing stuff like that draw more attention to it. And I think when people like shit on say Minecraft stands or culture in that regard, like it's very much from a lens that's only focusing on the
Hmm.
vocal bad apples instead of like otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah. What it is it's like it's kind of just trying to look more into just the content that they put out basically.
Yeah.
And that can also just affect the streamer as well and
It's
just like
weird,
make
dude.
them like
Especially in our
nervous
position.
and
Like, there's not
everything.
much people talk about it with. I was talking about this with Tommy earlier. It's like the
Hmm.
having all our personal relations that we're making now. Because I mean, people we knew when we were kids. Like, I mean, they don't really get it,
Hmm.
right? Like, they're still our friends, but like, we're not around them as often because we're surrounded by this space. So like, our friends are pretty much usually other creators, and it
Hmm.
creates a weird thing where like your very personal relationships are somewhat of a public situation too. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's a weird thing to deal. That's something I've definitely come to terms with this year. Not come to terms with, but have begun the process more. Is like, oh, all the people that I'm surrounded by are also dealing
Hmm.
with their own stuff, and like, who knows when I'm going to open up Reddit and they're going to have a whole thing on them that they fucked up someday, and I have to talk about it or something like that. Just things like that
Oh
that are
yeah.
like normal human relationships don't need that sort of dynamic to worry about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I shouldn't like it sucks because it's just like I really like the friends that I've made and everything. I've also like really liked like being able to hang out with people, but it also sucks to know that like one day like someone that I like grew very close to could just be like exposed for something absolutely terrible, and then
Sure.
I would have to talk about someone that like means a lot to me in
Sure,
that
and even
way.
on another
And like,
in another way like that, like not even being exposed, but like they fuck up and like because we're humans, people don't get that at the end of the day. People screw up. Like we're never gonna be perfect. We're never gonna like
oh
always
yeah,
make the right call or right decision. So it's like, how do you navigate it when your friend is dealing with something that they fucked up on and they know, and like it's not your place to like
mhm,
talk. It's stuff, all stuff like that, you know.
yeah.
There's no guide to deal with that because no one else has really had to deal with that until our profession came along.
Yeah, exactly. Like the most difficult thing for me in content creation has always been feeling like I have to be like perfect and everything. And then when I always like tried really really hard because like when you grow really really fast, you're worried about it all going away. So I was like really worried about getting like canceled, you
Yeah,
know, and then just like having it just all just leave. So then I tried really really hard to like be like essentially the perfect person for my fans and all that, and then that made them put me up on a higher pedestal and then compare me to other people saying, oh, he doesn't do this though,
I'm a
and it just
mistake.
makes me look like just like awful in comparison.
Yeah, no, I totally get
So
that. Sorry, I accidentally attacked a bee and now they're all trying to kill me. Um, I'm a little terrified.
just run
Did you
away.
see my chat? This is what we were talking about with like people looking way too into things. The whole feed Ranboo thing. My
Hmm.
chat loved that bit. They were laughing
Oh,
so hard at that.
I was so mad
It's
at
so
like I
funny.
was so mad after that because I
I can
saw that people were
imagine.
like, yeah, people were like getting upset at Tubbo, and I was just like, I'm fine and everything. I know that I was fine. I expressed that I was fine multiple times, but then they still used it as a way to like to get upset at like Tubbo and like everyone else on that stream, and I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me.
Well, it makes you
Like,
feel any better. My chat thought it was the funniest, most
oh,
ridiculous
it
thing
is it
ever.
is very it is
And now
very very
consistently,
funny.
anytime I'm doing anything, they're like, did you
Mhm.
feed Ranboo? Yikes. Feed Ranboo, please. Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
no,
like,
I,
they're
I
pissed.
I I love the jokes about it. It's so funny
In
because it's
stream, he's
just so
hungry.
ridiculous. It's so ridiculous when you think about
Yeah.
like what it was. Like it was again just looking into it way too far.
Chat, please shut the fuck up about feeding Ranboo. Nope. They're ready. They need them fed.
We need him fed,
Well, did you
guys. I
eat
need
after
some
that? There's the
food.
next question.
I yes, I did.
Huge.
I
Huge.
had a nice meal and
No
everything,
more
and then I
drama,
was
guys.
like, yeah, and then like we even talked afterward, and they were just like, "You're fine, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course. I would have told you. I didn't want to like I was having a good
And the
time
only
on
reason they're
stream.
even
It was
concerned is
fun."
because you now have like thousands of outside voices that are now overly psychoanalyzing things to that
Yeah,
then make
exactly.
them think they did something wrong.
Exactly. And it sucks to see like my friends and everything get affected so much when like they're worried about like what these people are going to think and everything.
Yeah.
Because it's like because it's like was seeing that and then just seeing them get like more sad and like differently like insecure about their content because they're worried about like what people are saying about them. It's just like
Oh yeah.
it really sucks and I hate to see them go through that.
Yeah, dude. It's no, it absolutely sucks. It's a weird position that we're in to have to navigate all that.
Hmm. Yeah, it's just it's a really weird. It's an awesome job, but it also has some of the weirdest cons of all time.
Yeah, because they're all unique.
Like,
There's no guide for any of them.
yeah,
They're
it
all
is the weirdest con.
yeah. No, it makes sense. I mean, the thing is, I mean, dude, you've had it as crazy as
Hmm.
anyone being thrust into it the way you have just so quickly. I mean, I can imagine the
Yeah.
scale. I mean, I feel like I've benefited from growing rather
Hmm.
gradually, and I did that like on purpose too. Like, there's been plenty of times. I mean, you've
Hmm.
seen my stuff. You watch me. Like, I don't do
Yeah.
Minecraft very often just because, like,
Yeah.
for the most part, the audience isn't exactly what I think lends itself to my humor all the time or what I want to do and the kind of content I
Hmm.
want to make. But like, you know,
Yeah.
uh, if I wanted to have played into that more, I probably could have, but I don't know if it would have been
Oh
happy.
yeah,
And so
absolutely.
it's something that I have always sort of considered. But then that also creates
Hmm.
issues too. It's like, well, now I'm comparing numbers and stuff when I
Oh
shouldn't,
my
or
god,
someone will
yeah.
watch me because someone else is live, or this, and that, which just becomes so like becomes such an
It's
internal monologue that just tears you apart.
Mhm. Oh yeah, no, it's like especially the numbers thing. It's like it's we have what happened with the Minecraft community and everything is just the numbers got so inflated. Like 100,000 on Twitch was like unheard of, except for like esports tournaments before
Yeah.
like stuff. And now it's like 100,000 was like like, oh, like this is just a regular stream for Tommy or something. But then like it basically, a lot of people just don't realize now that like 1,000 is still amazing on Twitch. 500 is still amazing on
Oh yeah,
Twitch.
it's so easy
But
to
it's
like
like,
see the numbers
yeah,
skewed and like compare yourself to
yeah,
it for sure.
yeah. And it's just that comparison and everything, just again, just
And I can
also really
imagine with you
sucks.
guys too. I mean, you have to deal with the fallout because everything is like shelf life isn't the right word, but like you have viewership
Mhm.
ebbs and flows, and so your
Oh, of
scale of
course.
like viewership, sort of steadying and equalizing is much more of a dip than maybe other people experience, and it's probably tough to like
Yeah.
to conceptualize